Today happens to be International Human Rights Day. So this is a really great day to launch a campaign to inform Ontario women about their rights under family law. 60 years ago, the UN adopted the Universal Declaration on Human Rights, which recognizes that all people and all nations are free and equal regardless of race, religion, economic status, age, gender, or other personal characteristics. It's an international document recognizing human rights as the foundation for peace, freedom, and justice in the world. So this day is a wonderful day to have this launch. And the thing that I think is remarkable about this project is something that Pam has referred to several times, is the collaborative aspect of this project. The fact that there were 24 different women's organizations working together to produce these materials. It has been incredible for the YWCA and our staff here, in particular Amanda Dale, who's our Director of Advocacy and Communications, to be working on this project, to be part of the consultation, the surveys, the reviews, the edits of all the information. And you can imagine that with 11 languages, the editing and the reviewing it was challenging. Because if you're dealing with one language and 24 people, you're going to have some disagreements. But if you're dealing with 24 groups and 11 languages, you can only imagine how complicated it is. But again, it's very interesting. I think that it is so important that the 11 languages are 11 individual languages, and the materials that have been produced are in individual documents targeted to individual communities. These are not bilingual or trilingual documents. They're unilingual languages geared to 11 different language groups. So this is a day to celebrate, and the YWCA is thrilled that you're all here to celebrate with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. Alia Hogban and her organization, the Canadian Council of Muslim Women, have been at the forefront of the work being done to ensure that all women in Ontario have access to one system of public family law for many years. I'd like to ask Alia to speak briefly about the history of her work in this project.
Thank you. The Family Law Education Project is the culmination of a long, what I call, relationship between the Government of Ontario and a number of women's organizations. Our initial contacts with the government from January 2003 to September of 2005 were regarding our advocacy and our request to Ontario to revise certain legislation, such as the Arbitration Act, so that no religious laws could be used for private, legally binding arbitration. To those of us who work directly with Ontario's women, this seemed a simple request. People keep telling me I have an idiot mind, based on our strong commitment to women's equality under the law. However, it took over 2 years to convince others that this is a critical issue, that women's equality rights under the law have to be upheld for every woman, religious or otherwise. Many organizations and individuals, along with our organization, created a coalition to achieve our objective. We did not do this alone, as the support of the public helped us enormously. The media sometimes went extreme, but most of the time we certainly got a lot of attention, and we certainly got a lot of help from every Canadian you can imagine. We know that many politicians, and I would like to name this, it may be politically incorrect, such as the Liberal Women's Caucus, also supported our objective. On September 9th, 2005, a very big day for us, particularly for us poor Muslims, The Premier's decision not to allow any religious family laws was greeted as a confirmation of women's equality, not only in Ontario, but all over the world. And we used to get women writing to us in the media from Yemen, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, the States and Britain, France, everywhere. We are even today involved internationally with other women's struggle for equality, especially under family law. We are grateful to the Premier for his decision, but also for the recognition that educational materials needed to be developed so that women would be informed about the various aspects of family law, and this is women of all races, all ethnicities in Ontario. We thank you and your staff for your confidence in us. As Pam said, we have been treated as partners, and you must have had some nervous times, but anyway, it didn't show, to do the actual work of creating materials which are being launched today. However, I would like to add that we look forward with our own coalition to other collaboration between you as the government, both Mr. Bentley and Mr. Matthews, and between the government and us as grassroots organizations so that the needs of women are met. Thank you.
Thank you, Alia. I put the fear of somebody and everybody saying, stick to your timelines. As I mentioned earlier, this project would not have been possible without both the vision and support of the Ontario Women's Directorate. It's only fitting that Minister Deb Matthews, Minister of Children and Youth Services, Minister responsible for women's issues, and Chair of the Cabinet Committee on Poverty Reduction, in other words, a very busy woman, is able to be with us today. Minister Matthews.